Many Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats podcast.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy, beautiful Tuesday morning. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. This your host with the most, Tony Mays, Lavelle Salto. What it do, my guy?
What's up, man? You got it back in here safely. Y'all did,
Yeah,
brother.
man. God is good all the time, and
Hello,
all the
somebody.
time, God is good. God is good, man. We had a beautiful time, man. Just fellowshipping, and this was a trip, man. We kind of piggybacked. Um, this was Miss P's family. Her granddaughter was celebrating. She had graduated from high school, and was it was her birthday, and so she wanted to celebrate by her and some of the family members going out of the country, and so that's what they did, and because of it, they were able to celebrate. Man, we just kind of tagged along, and hung out with them and had a good time, brother.
Good deal.
Yeah. So it was good, and so if you notice the topic. If you notice the topic today, I observed some things because that's what I'm doing. When I'm out, when I'm out of the country or another state or traveling or whatever, I'm always looking around, observing, especially now because I'm looking for content, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, uh, me and Monica was talking. We were sitting there talking, and we was I don't know if we were at breakfast or lunch or one of them, and we were just kind of looking around the room, because we had kind of ate our little food and was kind of looking around and looking at people and stuff. And people was getting up leaving, and like I'm like, these folk they ain't putting $1 on the table, $2 or nothing. Just getting up, leave. These people serving you, coming over there asking you what you want to drink. You can go get your own. Do it. Most time they come ask you what you want to drink, get in your place. If you're getting it, whatever, they just kind of waiting on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had an experience one night where we had went to the Japanese uh, restaurant. We went to the Japanese restaurant, and when we got there, they were like, "Oh, we're already booked up. You guys are going to come back. How many in your party?" And and we told them, how many was in the party or whatever. And we came, we ate everything. So we decided to go to this other restaurant. It was called Crystal. It was weird because I was like, we're gonna eat some Crystal burgers or something, It was called Crystal. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so Crystal was like on the other side of the Japanese restaurant. And when we got to Crystal, they was like, oh, you gotta, this kind of wait, but everybody gotta be here to be seated. And so of course everybody wasn't there. It was only, I think it was, I don't know, it was 12 of us all together, and only maybe 9 of us were actually there, you know, there and ready to be seated.
Mm-hmm.
So we end up, sitting down, and because the other people actually, I guess they were running late anyway. And so we look at the menu, and Monica was already looking because see, we were supposed to have went to the steakhouse, and that's why I was a little upset, right? Because we were supposed to have went to the steakhouse, and because everybody didn't show up, they wouldn't seat us at all. And then by that time, all the seats had filled up, and they was like, "Oh, y'all gonna have to wait." And this was 6 o'clock. They was like, "Y'all gotta wait till 8:20." And I'm like, "Man, I'm finna be starving. I know what I should have just went ahead and got me." Anyway, so we went to the other place, and they set up, set the ones that. So we looking at the menu. So now this was an alternative, right, Lavelle? It wasn't the actual place we wanted to eat. It was an alternative.
Mhm.
And you scan the card on the table, get the menu, and there wasn't anything on there that I wanted to eat. With nothing that I really could eat.
Mhm.
So the little guy that was waiting on us, he came asked us what we wanted to eat because everybody else ordered. Me and another guy, we were sitting at the end, and both of us, we don't eat meat, so we looking for salmon or whatever. They didn't have it on the menu. I think they had sea bass. They had sea bass, and the sea bass was pretty good. But so I was like, so the guy asked him, "Can y'all do salmon?" And he was like, "No, it's not on the menu." Then he said, "Wait a minute." He said, "Let me check for you." And he went, came back. He said, "Yeah, I could do salmon for you." And we was like, "Cool." I said, "I want salmon too." So the guy, went above and beyond. He went and got us some salmon. Came back with us some rice to go with the salmon, some fried rice to go with the salmon. I'm like, "Okay, bet." So I
Mhm.
okay, see, this what I'm talking about, going to beyond. Now, I'm gonna get to what my topic is. I'm going, I said he going beyond. And right when it was time to bring the dessert, he was like, "Y'all want some dessert?" We was like, "Nah." And I was like, "Well, you could bring her a birthday cake." And I'm just talking because I'm thinking they ain't gonna bring no birthday cake. They ain't got this last minute. And he said, "Sure, sure." I said, "You gonna bring a birthday cake?" "Sure, sure." He man went to the back, bro, came out with a cake about this big with happy birthday on.
Wow.
I looked at dude, I said, "Man, you going over." So, of course, needless to say, he got a big tip, like a really nice tip.
Mhm.
Because I felt like he went over and beyond. He went off menu to get us something that wasn't on menu at that particular restaurant and everything. So this leads me to my question. If you are traveling and you're staying at an all-inclusive resort or hotel, wherever, should you tip the employees during your stay?
I think you should.
Well, some people think because, Lavelle, some people think because um they are staying at an all-inclusive, they have paid this money to stay at this all-inclusive, that they should not tip.
Mhm.
Because I heard, I actually heard people say, "I done paid all this money to stay here." I'm like, what that got to do with your service? People serving you and getting you, service. Bro, and we in a foreign country, they not paying them foreigners. Good morning, Rodney.
Come
They not paying them foreigners, right? Like,
Mhm.
and most of them working double, triple shift. Like the ones that be at your dinner time serving their dinner, back at breakfast serving you. And I'm like, damn, do they get any rest? you know. So them people working trying to get that money. Man, the little dude that I tipped at the restaurant, he said, I be at that breakfast in the morning time, bro. When I walk in the door, that boy came and found me
Wow.
for breakfast. We come back for dinner the next day. That boy went and found me. He was waiting on some other people. He come found me. Look, when I tell you the little guy, then so that morning we was getting ready to leave. We sat in his area again. He took care of us for breakfast. I took a picture with him. He said, "You on Facebook? WhatsApp? What?" Like he monkey to my, why these guys be wanna? I was like, man, look, when people recognize good folk, like when you just good to people, and I end up taking a picture with the boy and friending him on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, cause he took my phone, found his name, and hit the friend request. So I said all that to say, when you're traveling, And I don't care even if it ain't all inclusive, but especially an all inclusive. You should be tipping, bro. Like, I don't care if it's lunch, breakfast, dinner, bro. I was tipping at the pool, getting a drink. When they bring me a drink up at the pool, tipping. If I walk to the bar, tipping. Like, before I even leave, I go to the bank, bro, and get change so I could have money to tip. So I ain't gotta be trying to run around get change for 100 and all that. I make sure I got tip money. So I just don't understand, like, why when you travel, if you're especially if you're staying in all inclusive, why do people feel like they don't have to tip?
I think with you being in an all inclusive, that should be even more the reason for you to tip because you're supposed to be big baller shot caller. You're supposed to be all inclusive. That's my thought process.
No, because with the all inclusive, I think people stay there because you don't have to worry about trying to go find food. Because if you already paid for the flight somewhere, right? Good morning, Rodney. If you already paid for the flight somewhere, so now you're paying for the hotel. And if you're a drinker, you got to go buy liquor. If you know, so like you, what if you traveling? Is you done your mother-in-law and the kids,
Mhm.
right? That's 5 people.
Right.
You ain't staying in no all inclusive. You got to cover flight for 5 people, hotel for 5 people, food for 5 people, drinks for 5 people, and any activities for 5 people.
Hmm.
That is a lot, right?
Right.
So when you stay in all inclusive, you just kind of bundling all that into one, except maybe with some of the excursions, even though they have activities and stuff on the property, pool and the shows and all that kind of stuff on property that you could go for free. Well, it ain't free; you didn't pay for it with your package, but it's essentially you coming out spending less money, especially when you got a family.
Right.
You're gonna spend a little less money, right?
Hmm.
So I wouldn't necessarily call it balling, because you really spending less money because they packaging it all up. You just get to eat. You get to eat all the entrees you want. You get to eat all the buff on the buffet you want. You get to eat all the stuff you want, right?
Hmm.
But that still does not negate the service that you're getting. You're still getting. People are providing you with a service.
Hmm.
Monica went to the spa the last day. Her and some of the ladies. We was at the beach and this lady came by and said, "You ladies want to get a scrub, a massage?" And Monica like, "Maybe I want that scrub." I was like, "Well, get you a scrub and massage. Hey, do you, you know?" So she
Hmm.
talked some of the other ladies into it. I think it was 5 or 6 of them. They went later on, made an appointment and went to the spa and got their little body exfoliating, scrub and massage. And Monica said, when she came back, I said, "You didn't bring my change back?" She was like, "No, I had to tip the lady." And I started smiling because she gave the lady a nice tip. I'm like, "Dog, okay then." I was like, "I ain't even mad at you, Becca." Monica definitely, she just like me when it come to tipping. She believe in tip, but Monica believes sometimes Monica over tip her. Monica feel like she got good service, bro. Like one night, the dude I was talking about wasn't even serving our table, but he
Hmm.
went and got me some change. He saw me, came over and spoke. I said, "Man, can you give me some change?" He said, "Absolutely." He went and got me some change, came back. Mugga said, "You should tip him $5." I said, "Forgive me some change." I said, "He ain't even waiting on us night." She was like,
But that gentleman was strategic, though. He was
"Yeah,
strategic to the point to where that he tapped into you, he connected with you. You know what I'm saying? And he went over and beyond. You know what I'm saying? You know my old man,
he
overcome the
definitely went over and beyond.
deliver.
He definitely went over and beyond, bro."
Hmm.
Rodney says, "Tip unsparingly as much as you can afford." And exactly, but Rodney, even at the all inclusive, if you drop $1 on the table, like if you drop $1 on the table, so it's you and your girl, so you drop $1 for each one of y'all on the table. Just imagine if everybody dropped $1 or 2 on the table when they came in.
Hmm.
That person Mac could man could live and survive. Not that they ain't, but you know what I'm saying. So we when people get up, they don't leave a dollar, a quarter, a coin, nothing. They just get up, walk away. And every time I'm leaving at least 5. And they might not be and did nothing but just come and gave me a drink, brought me a ginger ale or something. But it's look, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why when we go places, especially when we stay in places like for a minute, man, we have no problem getting good service from people. None.
Mm-hmm.
When they see us coming, they be beckoning us because they know we gonna tip.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's important, bro. Like especially if you live in you staying in an all inclusive that you tip. Rodney said they they say be a cheerful giver in church. Do that also when you have an outstanding server. Absolutely, man. Like, but sometimes when you go to places like that, your service depends on how you tip.
Yeah.
It shouldn't necessarily be that way, but that may be the difference in them going way beyond them or them just providing the basic service for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So why else would they be, hey, come over here, I got you two, right? Come on, they know. That's why I only travel with people like Miss P, Cheryl, Tammy. They know we tipping. They tip us. And people that don't tip, Patrice, if Patrice go with us, they tipping. They know that. I don't travel with people that are not tippers, bro. Cause if it was me, if I was a server, you know what I'm saying, working like that for mediocre, them little pins, them big resorts, them name brand resorts like the Rue and Hyatt and all these people, they ain't paying these people in other countries no $15, $20 an hour.
Oh no, they getting pennies.
And some of them even provide, and I found this out kind of later, but some of them even provide housing for them, especially if they're in like remote locations and they can't come. I know one time we were in Mexico, and where the resorts were like way kind of on the coast, and all those people kind of lived in cities, so they provided dorms for them. And if you look at the dorms, man, they just look like some little raggedy apartments, that was right off of property. They wasn't on property. You can see it like down the street where they provide them these dorms where they could stay in it, so they could get to work on time because they didn't have cars or whatever.
I know we've talked about tipping before, but I don't know we really went deep into detail. So of course, we're going to use our trusted AI overview.
Right.
It says tipping as a practice has a long and complex history, evolving from a voluntary gesture to a widespread expectation.
Right.
Its origins can be traced back to the Tudor period in England, where patrons would offer extra money for exceptional service. In the 18th century, tipping became more commonplace with servers at inns and country houses expecting gratuities from guests. Now,
Right.
this right here happened to you. Where it goes? It says the historical content. Um, the practice of tipping was sometimes used to exploit workers,
Mm-hmm.
particularly those who were previously enslaved, by keeping wages low and relying on tips as a source of income.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think y'all had went somewhere else, and it was just in the reverse, where if y'all tip too much, you probably get robbed or something.
Well, no, well, we were in when we were in Africa, I like to tip like I tip back home. And
Hmm.
the people were looking at me like, "Bro, you tipping way too much." You know what I'm saying? And then, um, in certain countries, it's offensive for
Right.
you to tip.
Hmm.
I think like in Vietnam, where Tam is now, like it's offensive for you to tip. So you have to really look at like the culture. And I most certainly I'm not gonna offend nobody. If I think if I know tipping is frowned upon, I'm not gonna do it. But if I know they got a big sign saying, please be kind and tip your waitresses waiter, I mean, they mean they get tipped. Come on, man. You
Yeah.
know. So I think sometimes, bro, we so selfish, bro. Or I know we had when we talked about the tipping before, we didn't really talk about maybe like the all inclusive, but we just talked about tipping in general. And people were saying, I tip if I got it. And my thing was, why even go to the restaurant if you ain't got
hmm
it? You know, and because we got in a little debate about that, you know. But you know, my thing is a lot of times we go, you know, and like us, we got another trip planned in 2 weeks, and then when we come back from that trip 3 days later, we gone again. In my mind, I'm like, I got to get my chips together because I got 3 trips that I'm gonna have to tip on. That's all I'm thinking about. I got to tip. I ain't even thinking about excursions and all that stuff that you're gonna have to pay for if you ain't already booked them, you know, before you go.
hmm
So, you know, my thing is like I gotta get my tip money, you know. But I have been places with people, bro, where every time they get up from a table, and then what about this? Let me ask you this, and
hmm
this kind of falls in line with it. So say you're at an all inclusive resort and you guys have booked some excursions. Do you tip the people that take you out on excursions?
It's the service. It's the same thing.
I said that people like, man, we already paid them to take us over here. So like, okay, for instance, when we went horseback riding that day, right?
hmm
The horseback riding place was an hour and I think 40 minutes away from where we was. So when we booked the transportation for it, we booked transportation for the whole day,
hmm
right? And it was 12 of us. We booked transportation. We split the transportation. So it came to be like $33 or something a piece for the whole day. That's awesome for 12 people. The person took us to the place, told us about stuff on the way. That's over here. That's the school. That's where they teach agriculture. That he talking to us. He ain't have to. He just a driver. But he telling us, I'm asking him questions, you know, as much as he could in English, he would explain what the Spanish word was for it, you know, different things. And he talked, me and him just chatting back and forth. We talking, and then he'll say something loud. His name was Juan Carlos. So he said, you can call me JC. And so I was called him JC, and then I started calling him Juan Carlos, and they was like, Tony, you just gave that man name. I said, no, his name is Juan Carlos. That's why he said call him JC. And they was like, oh, we thought you just made up a name. I was like, no, I ain't finna disrespect nobody like that, you know.
Right.
So anyway, he telling us about all of this different stuff as we travel. And so when we get to the place, he said, no problem. If you don't want to take your bag and leave, I'm staying with the bus. I'm gonna watch everything. He was just really nice guy. Um, so and when we left, when we on the way there, we was like, so on the way back, will we have time to maybe find a souvenir shop? He said, oh yeah, I'll take you to a place where we can sit down and eat, and they got a big nice souvenir shop. Everything is reasonable and all that. We was like, bet, cool, you know. So we go horseback riding. Everybody chickens out on the horseback ride. We get up on the horses. Everybody gets scared except for
Wow.
me and Monica. It went from 9 of us, 10 with this lady. She was a lady from Serbia that lived over in San Jose, and she spoke really good English to be from Serbia. I mean, really good Spanish and English. And so basically, the horse ride consists of me, Monica, and her,
Mm.
and our Spanish guide who spoke no English. So she turned out to be our translator. So we got out, we ride. So when we got to the waterfalls, because we had to get off the horse and walk 2 or 3 more minutes to the waterfall. When we got to the waterfall, everybody had got off the horse, got scared, they hadn't got Juan Carlos to take them around to the waterfall. So I was like,
Mhm.
well, cool. We didn't rode this horse. We didn't just rode this horse 5 miles. My butt hurt, my thighs hurt. I said, we can ride back in the van. And the lady was like, the lady from Serbia, she was like, well, I don't want to ride back with him. That's 5 miles or something back to ride with him by myself. And she was like, I don't want to do that. And we was like, we'll take you back in the van, back around to the front. So anyway, we hopped in the van. But before we did that, I'm thinking about the Spanish guy. He didn't just took us rode 5 miles, took us to the waterfall. You know, even though he didn't speak good English, he still was guiding us. Let me get this man a tip.
Mhm.
Gave the man a tip. We get in the van driver drops the lady back to the front. We headed back. He take us to the thing, souvenir shop, buying souvenirs. There's a restaurant next door with, good Costa Rican food. We ate, hopped back in the van. He's showing us stuff on the way back home, whatever. We get back. I immediately go in my pocket and pulled out, because I had transferred, I had converted some money, and I immediately went in my pocket and got money to give him a tip. And what I pulled out was equivalent to $20, US $20. And then all of a sudden from the back, Miss P handed me 4 more of those. So basically we gave him $100 tip just for driving us, to the place and bringing us back. Bro, he was happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my friend, thank you. I heard somebody say, we didn't pay for the bus. What we doing? You know me, I ain't say nothing, 'cause I'ma do me, you know.
Mm.
And I cringed a little bit, but we gave him, took care of him. Took care of him. The next day, we went ATV ride. Same thing. Guy picks us up, but that was the transportation was part of the ATV. He picked us up. He didn't speak no English, so he just kind of drove. But right before we got to the place, he just stopped the bus. He got off the bus. We like, what's going on? We in the middle of nowhere. He walked over to a tree and pulled a leaf off the tree, and he came back to our side. He opened it up and he said, this right here, he said the Indians used to use it he's like, I guess to put makeup, like to paint on their face. And we was like,
Mhm.
huh? He took it, rolled it up, bro. Rolled it up, then he took it. It was red, like they used it to put the makeup or the paint that they used to put on their face. The Indians, that's what they
Mhm.
used. And it smelled just like a makeup. Just rub it together and get it soft, and then you paint makeup. Somebody used it. They had a tattoo that wasn't colored, and they colored in their tattoo with it. Just as, So, I thought that was cool. I was like, he didn't have to do that, And he drove us there. On the way back, he did the same thing. He stopped us at a little souvenir shop, stopped us at a place to use the bathroom, got souvenirs, another little spot, nice little spot. On the way back, we get off, we give him a tip. So I think tipping, bro, is a part of traveling, bro. Period. And I think you should, just like you would budget for um your hotel, your flight, your excursions. I think you should budget for your tipping,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. I found another story that says, why should I tip? As in Australia, workers pay a fair minimum wage. A tip is just that, a bonus for great service. Paying extra on the tip of the bill at a restaurant may seem unnecessary to us, but if you consider the wait staff, servers in America earn just a few dollars per hour for their services, it starts to make sense. In fact, under American federal law, the minimum wage for employees who also earn tips is just $2. Of course, we know that 13 cents an hour for those who don't is just 7.25. Think of wait staff as an independent contractor. You're paying to wait your table. Taking a seat at a restaurant in the U.S., means you're entering a social contract. Wow. With
Right.
your work, you can't apply Australian standards. Wow. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. And so when you trying to be all selfish, you know, you don't want to you don't want to give, I don't know. I don't understand it. Like, to be honest with you. Like, again, when I do it, it when I budget for it for a trip, that's part of my budgeting process.
Mm.
Because I know I'm gonna have to tip somebody.
Right.
And does every single solitary thing you do deserve tipping? No, not really.
Mhm.
But especially if a person go out of their way to provide me some service that they didn't have to, for sure.
It's like one time we was at Red Lobster some years ago, and you could tell this lady here, man, she been working this industry 15 plus years. She just knew what she was doing. She knew the menu by heart. She was on her game. Just like boom, boom, boom. Plus, she was pregnant, and so I'm talking about that lady waited on us literally like on hands and feet almost. Like we couldn't even blink good. And so it was me, mama, and I think the children. But anyway, uh, so we were just looking like, man, this lady here, man, cold. So uh, I think we ended up tipping her like almost like $100 or something like that. It was like way over what we normally would tip.
Right.
Man, we tipped that lady, man. That lady started crying, bro. She was like, "Y'all don't even understand." She's like, "I'm getting ready to move. I already have another child, and I'm pregnant now, and I got a lot going on. Y'all don't even know how y'all help me." And what we was, we was like, "Wow, bro." So a lot
Yeah.
of times you don't even know that tipping goes beyond just what you call a tip. It's more like a survivor, if you
But
will.
for a lot of them, yeah.
Hmm.
For a lot of them, you're absolutely right, man. It comes down to, for a lot of people, man, and sometimes really, man, you have to, like, I look at the my wait staff sometimes when we go places, and I try to look at them, and like, we big on energy, but you could tell if somebody just having a bad day versus somebody just an asshole,
Oh yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And if they just having a bad day, you can kind of encourage them, or just say, you bless them. Man, I done been like at Christmas time. We going somewhere and I'd be like, I got a little extra change. My tip might be $50. They be like, let me get your change. Give me how much change you want back. I'd be like, nah, that's for you. Merry Christmas or whatever. They be like, thank you. Can I get a hug? They be crying about to cry it out. So it it really just depends, bro, on, again, I'm not saying when you travel, every single solitary thing needs to be tipped. But I'm a budget for it just in case it is
This is
a
like
tip
when I
situation.
do weddings, majority of the time, they don't always be black weddings. Just let me be honest. But when I do white weddings, they already pretty much got it budgeted in their wedding that they're gonna tip the DJ. Really much all the vendors.
Right,
Uh, Sometimes anywhere from $75 to $100 or more.
right, right,
I've got tipped $200 before
right.
outside of me what I actually got paid.
I have people that I've dealt with, even with the bars and other work that I've done. Um, what's going on, Marcus? That have turned around and tipped me based on just fact that if they just saying, man, this blew my expectations out the water. Like, I didn't realize this was gonna be like this, and boom, and this, I'm gonna throw you an extra this and that. Get you some dinner on me, or whatever. And it's cool. And so I look at it as they didn't have to, but they did it. I'm grateful they did it. And I think when you talking about wait staff, though, when you're talking about being out there, um and somebody's providing a service for you, whether it's wait staff driving, or whatever. I think it's just imperative that we tip people. You know, at least I mean, let's think about if you were in a situation. If this was what you was doing, you were forced to go and work a second job as a waiter or a waitress because you know you didn't retired and or whatever, and the income. I mean, because that happens. People retired and they had to go work at Walmart as a greeter or whatever, and
Mhm.
you're doing it because your ends ain't meeting. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think, and a lot of people don't think like that. They chose the job, then that's their job. I can't stand people like that. I
Yeah.
absolutely, positively cannot stand people like that. Stay away from me. If you're a
Mhm.
person that don't like to tip, stay away from me.
And you got individuals that has literally went to school, for hospitality, what I'm saying, and connoisseur service, stuff like that. So it's like it's a art.
Yep.
Everybody can't work in that industry. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, you know, like I say, my mantra is under promise and over deliver. So my customer service has always been, you know, over exceeding anybody. I remember one time I used to work at Dillard's, uh, and customer came in, like my first week working there, and a white couple. They was like, "Man, you so nice," and they liked the way I dressed, my coordination, what you will. And so the next couple of weeks when I was there, they said when I was off, they said there's a couple came in here looking for you. They was like, they want to know when the next time you work. They said they're not even shopping here if you're not at work. So, I mean, it goes a long ways when stuff
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. When you're cordial and people and all that. And but I think a lot of time and you all you was doing was saying, hey, this is my job. I just enjoy helping people doing what I do. But because of that, you had clientele coming in saying we ain't even shopping if this dude ain't in at work. We don't want to get nobody else because I know in retail back in the day we used to get paid for our sales and stuff.
Your commissions.
Yeah, we used to get that little commission and stuff. So a lot of
Hmm.
people are like, oh well, if they ain't getting the commission, I ain't coming. And that's how they work. Because I worked at places like that where we got commission. And and if you provide a good service, they were like, hey, well, you let me know when you here. I'm coming when you here because I ain't coming. Ain't nobody else getting my money.
Hmm.
And that's just the way it is.
And then another thing, some service industries, and this is very key. You do good work, in certain service industries, your work is based upon referrals as well. Like
Right.
yesterday, was at home, and it was a couple behind us. We just stopped and talked to them or whatever, and so it was like this barrel on top of the little shelf or whatever, and the lady said, "Oh, this will look good on my bar." So this me. I said, "Oh man, y'all ain't seen no bars." I said, "Y'all done see my brother's bars." And so I went on the Facebook page. He said, "Damn, dude doing it like this." You know what I'm saying? So if and I ain't just saying it because you be cool like that, but because of your work
Yeah.
ethic and what you do,
Right.
I'm like
Right.
excited to share it. Like, dude, this dude do some good work. Dude, like, man, I'm gonna hit him up, man. Like, that's custom work. So you know what I'm saying? So if you do good work, you just follow you, doc.
Yeah. Yeah. And that works for the service industry too. You know, when you provide great service, and Marcus could attest to it. Marcus is on here. I don't know if Marcus is still on here now, but Marcus could attest to it because Marcus was the guy that was sitting with me when we sitting in the restaurant when the young guy went over and beyond to provide that service for us that he didn't really have to. He could just said, "That's not on the menu, sir. Can you select something from the menu?" But
Mm-hmm.
he off menu to satisfy us, to make sure that we had something that we could eat
Mm-hmm.
and be happy with.
Yep.
And then went over there and say, "Hey, I'm gonna bring you a side. Y'all didn't want a side. Let me bring you some fried rice to go with it."
Mm-hmm.
And it was awesome. So
Bro,
I think that
I'm just you, you
credit.
and you don't never know, man, how them tips can add up. I be doing like, what I'm saying, weekly events through the week, like depending on this what on a good night. Like I think like my third week when I started at Old Dominique, I think I got tipped like almost $150. And I was like, damn, just 20, 20, 20. I'm like, okay,
A hundred. Just think if you was doing that every day, $150 a day,
come on,
that
bro.
adds up. Man, I
None.
know. I remember when I remember when the Splash casinos, all the casinos opened up in Tunica. Splash
Yeah.
was one of the first ones, right? And at that time I was a CO for the correction center, and I just needed more money because I wasn't making enough as a CO. So I worked part time down there. I would get off, drive down to the casino, and work valet. I was a valet, just park. Man, them folks used to come out of that thing, bro. Thank you, sir. Have a great day. Hand them that key. Them folks flip me a $25 chip, $100 chip.
What?
Just being nice to people. And then we had
Mhm.
guys, man, that would and see, people be looking at this stuff too. We had guys that would get in people's cars, man, and then they'd come back. Man, them folk had, man, they had about $30 in their change tray. I grabbed me about $4, $5. I'm sitting there like, bro, what? See, then they come back. The person don't even tip 'em. They probably like, yeah, you already got your tip, you know, because you done went in my, because ain't no telling what these people got in their car, you know what I'm saying? And then,
Right.
you know, you a person that you know how stuff, you get in your car and you look and be like, these folks done ravaged through the change. I ain't throwing you nothing, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful about how you treat people and treat people stuff, you know. And I'm like, y'all ravaging through the people. That ain't your job. Your job is to go park them folk car, not to ravage through their cars and look for stuff you can steal,
Yep.
you know. But that's just the way some people are, man. Some people don't care about other people ish. You know what I'm saying? It for them, it's all about let me see this thing like it's about to go out. For them, it's all about, hold on. Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
You went kind of low.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I had to cut my other one like it was about to go out.
You was a little louder than when you were.
Huh?
I said you a little louder than when you were.
Yeah. Well, this mic too. And this mic, it don't, I don't think it feedback like that.
Mhm.
Like the other one do sometimes. Oh, anywho. So yeah, we just gotta be mindful, bro, of how we're treating people in the service industry. You know, when you don't treat people right, bro, it's gonna show up, man.
Mhm.
It's gonna show up. And so I definitely think that when you travel, just budget. Like, I don't understand, like, how hard is it to budget an extra $100, extra $150 in your money for tips? I always do at least 200, and then I say if I got to get some change for something else, I will. I go get $200 worth of fives and ones,
Mhm.
depending on how long I'm gonna be there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, like when we was in Africa almost 2 weeks, but everywhere we went wasn't a place to tip. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Every situation is not gonna warrant you tipping, but I want to be prepared if I do have to tip.
Mhm.
You know, and so when traveling and staying in at an all-inclusive resort, should you tip the employees during your stay, or is it just, hey, I done paid already for this all-inclusive experience, and hey, they better get it from the front desk? Is it
Mhm.
one of them situations? And for me, I think that you definitely should be tipping your wait staff, your service people, your bartenders, people who are bringing you drinks at the pool. And you know, if you a drinker, right?
So even if you're a drinker, you're sitting at the bar, and you know you finna drink 4-5, you finna turn down 4-5 drinks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even you ain't doing but $1 every time they hand you a drink, you just leave $1 right there.
Right.
Something.
Mm.
Every time they damn near every time they brought me a drink, because I ain't no heavy drinker like that. Every time they brought me a drink, I'm giving them $3, $2, $4, you know, every time. And if you go out your way to go find me because I done moved somewhere else to bring me my drink, oh yeah. Because I didn't inconvenience you. I ain't where I was when I ordered the drink.
Yeah.
I done moved to a whole other location over here. And so now you gotta you done walked over to where I was. Now you gotta look around, scared, find me. Oh, he over there. Let me take it. Yeah. But y'all think they just supposed to do that anyway. That's their job.
Right.
No. So that's how I feel about it, man. When traveling and staying in all-inclusive resorts, I think you should tip the service staff that works there. If you're getting turned down service from your housekeeper, hey, leave, you know, hand them $5 when you're walking out the door, or $10 when you're walking out the door. They might say, okay, let me get him some fresh sheets. They might not put your same dirty sheets back on the bed and just make your bed up. They might give you some fresh sheets. We don't never get turned down service. Like we don't never get we just, hey, we'll throw our towels out there, go collect some more towels from them. We don't, because we don't have time to be trying to put up jewelry and all that stuff every time somebody walk in the room. So we keep the do not
on the flip side of that too, though, you do have some of these people, man, who be like, you know, they be some assholes. Not the servers out of wait staff, but the people who are traveling, and they feel as if they treat those people like less than nothing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, and you be
a lot of
yeah, you know. So on the flip side, how you treat those individuals is tension upon you know what I'm saying, how they gonna treat you. You know, I've been places before, and they, hey, give me this, do this. I'm like, who the hell did you talk to?
I can tell you this from traveling a lot. I've heard people say this, that they say Americans are the worst ones when it comes to tipping. Like other countries, Americans, and I want to say they said Japanese, but Americans for sure are the worst one when it comes to tipping. Like the Europeans, they come over from Europe, they tipping good, they tipping. But Americans, and especially African Americans, are the worst when it comes to tipping.
Crazy.
Now that's crazy. So when they find out you're American, they be like, if your service happens to decline for some reason, that's because they already been talking like they don't tip no way. Ain't no need me spending all this time over here with them. They ain't gonna tip me no way. I'm just gonna provide them. I'm gonna provide them with the basic service. That's what they're gonna get. All right, let's clock this tea, man. Let me see. Let me clock this tea. That girl, Queen Watkins.
Good morning. Y'all know what time it is. Put them phones down, fingers up. It's time to clock that tea with your girl, Queen Watkins. I hope y'all are having an amazing morning. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to clock that tea. Have y'all seen the story on the news of the daycare worker that was in a relationship with a 10-year-old boy? Yeah, let's talk about it. So his mom was charging the baby phone, And she seen, when the phone came on, a picture of the daycare worker on the baby wallpaper, her child's wallpaper. So she decided to look through the text messages. And he got her name saved as Mommy in his phone. She texting, I love you, what you wearing, things like this to this 10-year-old child, right? So she's also sending explicit photos. Well, it's explicit photo for a 10-year-old because you got on this skater skirt that's showing your ass cheeks and you turned around to the back, right? Like, you know how you take a back shot photo? Yeah. So she's sending explicit photos to a 10-year-old, and the mama was livid. You hear me? So DCS came to the house, and DCS was asking the 10-year-old, like, hey, what's going on? Blase, blase. So the 10-year-old gave a little more information and also said when they were on a field trip, old girl was rubbing on his leg and shit. Mind you, this is a 10-year-old now. Baby, everything in me, my son is 9, gonna be 10 this year. That's like me looking in his phone, seeing a grown lady, my age, sending all this stuff to my son. Baby, everything, it would have took a whole lot of prayer, a whole lot of talkings, a whole lot of everything, because sweetheart, there's too many men out here, too many easy men out here for you to be fantasizing over this child. So they're not giving her name out because she hasn't been charged. And the mother is upset about that because she was saying if it was a little girl and a man, y'all would have charged him immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all wouldn't have held back from going ahead and charging them. But this lady is not charged, so they didn't want to put her name or her face on the news or whatever. I would have put it all over social media.
She was used to that.
Y'all ain't gotta put it on the news. It's gonna get shared some type of way because you out here bothering, messing with children. That's insane. Girl, you telling me you couldn't get nobody at least that was 20, 19? If you a cougar, be a cougar. But get somebody of age because you out here playing. You play with the wrong child. It don't make no difference that you are a woman. It's still nasty. It's still disgusting. You shouldn't be doing no shit like that. Girl, ooh. But yeah. That's all the tea that I have today, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for 2 Men and Hats Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And don't forget to stay tuned for your girl, Queen Watkins Clock. That's it. Y'all have a blessed day and stop messing with people's children.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
So I'm trying to figure like how was it like a after school program or something? Because she said a daycare worker and the dude is 10. Like I guess that part got me confused because I'm thinking the daycare worker you gotta, unless it was like maybe it's some after school program or something. I don't know. I was a little confused with that. But it's still a little weird. Ryder was talking about the tip. He said, I saw a video today that said that women serving women are the worst situations to be in. I'll find it and post it later. He said, especially black women, unfortunately. Who was that? Oh, that was Marcus telling us about, him and his wife was sitting at the table, and then the waitress was like all up on him and looking all over his men trying to show it. He had to tell her to back up. You being disrespectful. Y'all in my space, like back up a little bit, So
yeah.
I guess what you said, Robin, Rodney may have a little truth to it. It might have a tad bit of truth to it. I don't know. But I think that's super disrespectful from a wait staff perspective. If you're somebody's out with a woman or a male and you're just kind of all in their space or just being up in their face like that, I think that's super disrespectful. And then that could definitely affect your tip. That could definitely affect your tip. So when you guys are traveling and you book an all-inclusive hotel or stay resort, is it imperative to tip, or do you say, hey, I already paid for everything, I ain't tipping nothing? What's your thought process on that? Do you tip or don't tip? Tip or don't tip? If you're traveling and you're staying in all-inclusive resorts, do you tip or not tip? For me, I'm tipping every time. If I'm tipping, I'm budgeting for tipping, and I'm gonna make sure that I take care of those who take care of me. And that's just the bottom line. Ain't no ifs, ands, and or buts about it. So we can continue this conversation, man. If you guys come back and view this later, just make sure you leave your comment and share the post, because I wanna know, man, do you tip or not tip? And if you don't tip, your reason for not tipping, and if you tip, your reason for tipping, and just leave it in the comments. We do understand that a lot of people be at work during this hour, and a lot of people go back and view. And so if you're viewing it and sharing it, make sure that you leave the comment and let us know whether or not you would tip or not tip, and the reason why you would do either one. All right. Make sure you guys join us on this coming Thursday. We will be at I don't even see the name of it, but it's the Ghost River Brewing Company on Main Street.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys are, hold on, Lavelle. I think we might can do it this way. Hold up. There you go. All right. So it's 827 South Main Street. DJ One Love gonna be on the ones and twos for karaoke, and we're gonna also be presenting our family with a vacation package, the well-deserving family with a vacation package this Thursday. So make sure you guys join us. If you don't have anything else to do this coming Thursday, or if you just want to bring a little change to add to the pot, come on with it. And we're gonna be taking it that day as well. And so we already got our big check here. It's folded up, but we got a big check to present. Yeah. We own it, doggone it. So you guys make sure you join us, man, this coming Thursday, 827 South Main. Oh, at 7. Make sure you're there by 7 o'clock p.m. All right. It's from 6 to 9. But if you want to get there at 6, start your happy hour early. That's fine. But make sure you're at least there by 7. All right.
Sometimes we go a little over.
Huh? What you say, Lavelle?
I said sometimes we do go a little over, depending on how the party is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's cool. So make sure you guys join us this coming Thursday for that. And we appreciate everyone who had an opportunity to be a blessing to this family. Everyone who has given to this point, and if you haven't, and you just prayed for us, hey, we appreciate that too. So thank you guys so much. We kindly appreciate it. All right, man. That's all I have, man. Well, don't forget, we are broadcasting only on our YouTube page and our fan page, our 2 Men and Hat podcast fan page. We're no longer broadcasting, without sharing to our personal pages anymore. So we realize that it's going to take some time for this to kind of catch on, because people be used to kind of dropping in on our personal pages. That's why I'm asking you guys to share it. Yeah, Lavelle has added that. Make sure you share it. Yeah. So we are only broadcasting on our Facebook fan page and our YouTube channel. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And if you can't catch it on Facebook, you can catch it on YouTube. All right. We thank you guys, and we appreciate you guys wholeheartedly for tuning in with us Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. sharp. All right, Lavelle, close us out, brother.
Hey man, glad y'all made it safely back home and had a great time in Costa Rica celebrating and birthday over there with Miss P folks, and y'all had a great time. And then y'all get ready to leave back out in a couple of weeks, ain't it?
Yep.
And then you're gonna
Back
turn around
again.
and leave again.
We're gonna be gone again.
Man,
Get
it how you live.
So hopefully there, I think my service and stuff will be a whole lot better too. Which I don't think it was that bad in Costa Rica. Yeah. So hopefully that we'll be able to come and and be on every day as well. Because all I'm doing, because we going to this one for somebody's wedding. So outside of the wedding, I ain't doing all them excursions and all that stuff. I'm simply gonna be chilling by the beach, chilling. So good morning, Queen. Girl, we've been missing you. We know you've been with your job and all that stuff, but we've been missing you.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Who getting married, Tony?
Huh?
Who getting married?
My brother-in-law, his fiance's daughter is getting married.
Oh, Clarence.
Oh, Clarence, yeah. His fiance, Cheryl, her daughter is getting married. And so it's another one of those things where we tagging along, bro. We inviting ourselves to people trips. If you got a trip that you're going on and you want to, we will invite ourselves to your trip.
That's crazy. Great.
And then the one after that is my sister. We celebrate my sister's 60th birthday.
Queen, when did you get a vacation, Queen? Since you jumped on, we hadn't had the opportunity where you actually be on the live with us. We've been doing this outside of the stuff we had in person.
Yeah.
When did you?
I would love for you to do a Clock That T live. Like,
yeah,
I would love it. So, I mean, if you're able to do it one day, I would absolutely love, or 2 or 3 times a week, whatever. I'd love for you to do the Clock the T segment live if you can.
Mm-hmm.
And that way we won't have to do the pre-recorded. I mean, I understand you do be working.
Right. So let us know so we can kind of schedule it in. We ain't got to do it every week, but
Yeah.
You can just text us, hey man, I'm finna pop on, I'm finna clock this T. Y'all get ready.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. All right, close us out, brother.
All right, man. Appreciate everybody. And like Tony said, make sure y'all share the page, and because it's the only place we're gonna be going live at, man. So love y'all. Appreciate everything. Let us pray. Most gracious Eternal God, our Father. Lord God, we thank you for life and life more abundantly. Thank you for waking us up, giving us reasonable portion of health and strength. Thank you for traveling grace for Tony and for them going and arriving back safely. Continue to touch everybody's efforts that we're doing to have this podcast, to touch everything that we're going to do in the future, Lord God. And we actually do this in our Son Jesus' name, and we said, Amen.
Amen, man. We'll see you guys in the morning, same bat time,
same bad place. Hold on, what Queen say?
Getting hats.
What she say? What she say?
She said, "LOL, getting that money, but I got you. We can choose a day. I got you. Try to change my lunch. Okay, all right, that'll work.
For sure.
Yep, that'll work. All right, man. We'll see you guys in the morning, same bad time, same bad place. 2 Men in Hats. 2 Men in Hats. Look, dog it. 2 Men in Hats. Let's talk about it.
It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That T. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hats podcast.